What's up, everybody? Supersmallchibiwolf here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Andriod Kikaider the animation. This is a 13-episode anime series from the early 2000s, and the first thing I want to talk about are the characters. The characters were funny, interesting, and great. I love these characters, their personalities, and backgrounds. First character I want to talk about is Jiro. Now, Jiro, he was a nice-hearted and cool android with a conscious circuit, which allows him to gain the ability to simulate emotions like a human so he can know right from wrong. He is also known as Kikaider, and all of his cool and fun heroic adventures that he goes through along with his loved ones. He can activate his powers to transform into Andriod Kikaider so he can fight against robotic villains. Next character I want to talk about is Mitsuko. She was a nice-hearted girl who cared for her little brother Masato and Jiro. Ever since Mitsuko and Masato lost their mom, she was always like a mother figure to Masato. Mitsuko wasn't ever into her dad's robots due to them taking so much time away from him spending time with her, which made her hate robots, but she comes to develop a caring relationship with Jiro. She was the daughter of Dr. Komoji and the sister of Masato. Now, next character I want to talk about is Masato. Masato, he was a cheerful and happy kid who loved Jiro. He was the son of Dr. Komoji and the brother of Mitsuko. Also, I find it interesting that Mitsuko was the one to give her mom the name Masato, and she went with it. And while Mitsuko is more of a serious and uh, careful person trying to keep everything nice and safe, Masato was more of a how to say daredevil, and he wants to go out and have fun, be involved in this craziness, and experience the best in life. Next character I want to talk about is Dr. Komachi. Dr. Komachi, he was a nice-hearted guy who single-handedly raised his kids, Masato and Mitsuko. He was a brilliant scientist who also created Kikaider. Now, next character is Henpai Hetari. He was a nice and smart detective who goes along with Mitsuko and Masato to try to find Jiro. He was also the the boss of Itsuko Sawatobi, his assistant or sidekick, and together they were pretty cool and insane. Next character I want to talk about is Backgold. He was an interesting villain, and compared to the other villains, I would say he was more interesting and I liked him more. He had more moments which showed that he had more of an impact in the overall story and characters. He uses a special flute that hacks into Jiro and this causes him to act evil and dangerous around everyone around him, taking control over him and his self-conscious to kind of provoke him into doing and causing such evil destruction things all around him. He is the evil android servant of Professor Gill. Now, the other characters were nice. I love them. Like, for example, Henpai Hatara's sidekick, Itsuko Sawatobi. She was pretty cool, and I enjoyed the relationship between her and the other characters as well. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the music. The music was amazing, and I loved it. The intro was wonderful. It has a beautiful acoustic guitar rhythm, which I loved, along with some soft instrumental and interesting, detailed visuals of the characters, and it all came together to create such a wonderful intro, and I loved it. Next thing I want to talk about is the outro. The outro has a wonderful singer and some nice smooth instruments in the background, and it's all out wonderful. I enjoy the music in Andriod Kikaider. Even within the series itself, these episodes, there's some hidden musics or some musics that are just really great. Next thing I want to talk about is the story. The story starts with a genius professor called Dr. Komoji creating a humanoid robot called Jiro. Jiro can transform into Kikaider. Jiro was created so he can protect Dr. Komoji's son Masato and daughter Mitsuko. Kikaider has a conscious circuit which allows him to gain the ability to simulate emotions like a human, so he can know right from wrong as well. Within the story, we watch as Jiro protects Mitsuko and Masato from Dr. Gill, who wants Jiro to join his army and help him on his mission to conquer the world. After an accidental problem, the laboratory of Dr. Komoji's explodes, and as Dr. Komoji runs, he comes across Professor Gill, who captures him. Later on, Mitsuko is going through her dad's computer and discovers that he was working on a powerful humanoid robot called Jiro. Then Mitsuko goes outside and finds out that an evil robot is trying to attack her little brother Masato, but Mitsuko shields him with her body, and as they find out, they are saved by Jiro. As the fight between Jiro and the evil robot, starts, Mitsuko guides him on how to use his powers and abilities. They watch in surprise as Jiro transforms into Andriod Kikaider. With this new discovered powers and abilities, Jiro easily wins with no effort over this evil robotic villain. And from here, the adventures begins, and I love it. Now, there are many wonderful fight scenes with Andrew Kikaider. I love the fight scenes and the fights within this anime because there are many villains that have their own abilities and powers which challenge Jiro, and unlike the shonen, like for example Dragon Ball, where they are gods and all of that, Jiro is not like that, and he wins not through being a overpowered character, but a small and tactical fighter. So that is what I really loved. He evolves his skills and he evolves as a human. I mean, as a robot, becoming more humane, more of a humane character. And I won't spoil everything, but let me just say it was an interesting story and development, and I loved it. Now, there are many iconic mecha animes and anime characters, and Jiro from Andrew Kikaider is one of them. I remember seeing his design in some pictures of other merchandise related stuff relating to the live action series of Andrew Kikaider, and I thought it was interesting and cool. His old design, and coming to see this one, years after, and I'm like, you know what? Oh well, this is great. I remember seeing, you know, the posters like of the series or movies relating to Andrew Kikaider, the live action. I believe they call it Sentai films. I believe that was it. So yeah, I always knew about Andrew Kikaider, and I thought he was cool. So coming to see the anime, which I didn't know about before this year, I think I seen it. Just the design itself, but I thought it was like fan art or something. But yeah, there was a lot of fan art as well. So overall, it was great. I feel like Andrew Kikaider is a character in anime that is underrated these days. Before, I remember seeing some stuff relating him, like I said, but as a anime fan and movie fan, I haven't heard or saw anything relating to Andrew Kikaider, and it's kind of unfortunate because Andrew Kikaider is an amazing anime, an amazing character in series, and I think he deserves more love. So hopefully you all give him a chance and go watch this anime and other things relating to Andrew Kikaider, because whether it's old, new, past, rare, underrated, I think he deserves a chance. Everything. And Andrew Kikaider is an amazing anime. I would say it's underrated and not as huge, similar to another anime called Gunbuster, which I also haven't heard a lot of people talk about recently. These years, not just days or months, years. And I know a lot of anime fans, so I was like, you know what, Andrew Kikaider and Gunbuster, especially Andrew Kikaider because this is the review, deserves more love. So yeah. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is while Andrew Kikaider has only 13 episodes, it uses its time to give us such a wonderful anime full of exciting and wonderful episodes, and proves that an anime series doesn't need 100 plus episodes to be amazing. And I hope we all get a new series or movie within the Andrew Kikaider franchise or series, and it doesn't get lost to time. But if we don't, I'm still very happy that we got this cool anime and everything else that came before it, and I love it. Andrew Kikaider is just so amazing. And yeah, so after watching Andrew Kikaider, I love this anime. It has cool, amazing characters, great music, interesting story, and overall, it's one of my favorite animes of all time with amazing ending, which just everything's just so great. And I highly recommend it if you haven't watched it already. So I recommend watching Andrew Kikaider. It was cool. Now the animes that I recommend watching also are Battle Angel Alita because it also follows a cool android in her adventures, and also Gunbuster because if you're looking for an amazing mecha anime that has great fighters and great fights, lovable characters and lovable and amazing characters and wonderful music and interesting story overall, Battle Angel Alita and Gunbuster are two animes that I would recommend as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye.